What is going on, YouTube? And let's have a little conversation about faith and finances. Stay tuned. What is going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Faith Like That, a Christian ministry that is dedicated to helping you live a clean life for Christ and to live that life abundantly. We want you not just to have faith, but to have applied faith working in your life, that kind of faith that can move mountains. If you have not done so already, we would love it if you would connect with us. Please subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell icon so you know when new videos are coming out. Also, at any point in the video, or if you just like the concept of the video or the channel, you can even do this right now. You can smash that like button. When you hit the like button, it tells YouTube this is great content and to play it for more people. It also tells YouTube you like this kind of content and to play more of these kinds of videos, not just ours, but others as well for you. All right, so today we're talking about faith and finances just a little bit. I don't know about you all, but around this time of year, I kind of get that feeling that something's coming, something's about to happen. Things are coming to life. Spring is happening. I don't know where you're watching us from, but I'm in Texas, and we had a little ice problems down here, snow and ice problems that we usually don't have, and it gave us a really hard time. But maybe the day after that kind of let up, it started to get hot again. And today it's like 76, 78 degrees right now, and it's like 5 o'clock, and it's getting warm around here. I'm gonna have to come up out the sweatshirt here in a second. So, but with that, like I was sharing, when the season starts to change, it makes me think that something's coming, something's about to happen. God is about to do something in my life, and I start to feel and kind of long for a change a little bit, change the scenery, to go see something, to go on some kind of adventure, to start something new. And I don't know if that's just me. It might be you too. But in that, I want to talk about faith. I've shared before during this pandemic that I feel like we learned a lot. And myself, I learned that some of the things that I was waiting for, I don't have to wait for anymore. And I don't know why I was waiting for them in the first place. That if I had been a little bit more proactive and started doing some of the things that I'm doing now before the pandemic hit, once the pandemic hit, I could have really bumped into overdrive and made up some ground or covered some ground and been in a completely different place right now. And I try to beat myself up about that. But I think a big part of that is just our faith level and what we believe about what God will do and what God has said. I think one thing that we talk about all this is finances and growing in your business and your faith and where you get your money from, being financially independent, being able to live the life you want to live. And hey, I'm right there with you. But then just believing that even though it may not feel the way you want it to feel or look the way you want it to look, that God has always been there for you. And when I look back over my life as a Christian, I see that God has always been there for me. And even when I didn't have anything, somehow I still ate. I still had somewhere to sleep and to be. My lights were still on. I was still covered and okay. And then when I came out of it, it was just a testament of how great God was and what he did for me, because it wasn't me that brought me out of it. It was God. And it was clear, not just to me, but to anyone who was watching, which is big. But with that, like I was sharing, I think if I had started sooner, it would have been better. And I'm a big reader. There's an author that said, I want to say it was Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel was one of the founders of PayPal in that organization. And he says, what can you do to meet the objectives and goals of your 5-year plan or 10-year plan in the next 6 months? And I think that's a thought process that most of us don't have. That we make these plans and we want to do these things and we might actually take action. But at the same time, we're not taking enough action. We're not moving fast enough. We're taking a slow route. We're trying to play it safe because we are questionable about if it's going to work, and we don't want to look crazy. We don't want to look stupid. We don't want to be broke. For those of us who have families, wife and kids like myself, I refuse to put my family through a situation where they have to go without because of a decision that I made. And it would really hurt me if I made that decision and then we did have to do that and I wouldn't even know what to say. But still, that thought process is very true, that there are things that you can do right now that would get you to where you want to be, and you are planning on being there in 5 years, and you can get there in 6 months. Today, I was looking at the news, and Disney Plus streaming service is looking like they're about to catch up on Netflix, maybe even surpass Netflix, and have, like, today I looked, they got 100 million subscribers. They weren't talking about being there for another 4 years, and they're there today, a good 16 months after they started. And that's big. And that goes for any of us, that there are things you can do right now to get you to where you want to be. And you could be there in the next 6 months versus the next 5 or 10 years. But if you're okay with not moving forward, not moving fast, not moving on faith, then you will be 5 to 10 years getting there. The Israelites had a journey from Egypt to the promised land that by foot should have taken them a month. That took 40 years because of their faith. And you can't afford, well, I won't say you can't afford, maybe you can, and you're okay with that, but you shouldn't want to be able to afford to take years to do something that you can do in a couple of months. I was praying the other day, and God was sharing with me and showing me some things in prayer. And I just pretty much, I saw some things there with him, and I won't share it. Well, I'll share it with you. I wasn't going to share it with you, just thinking like, okay, maybe it won't be as beneficial. It was more so for me. But God, I was praying, and I saw myself on the top of a hill, a mountain kind of hill. At the bottom of it was like a valley, and there was some water. And I was sitting at the top with Jesus, and I was kind of praying, looking over the scenery there while I was spending time with God and with Jesus there. And Jesus was next to me at first. And he was dressed in sort of plain clothes, and I couldn't see his face. His face was blurred out, but I knew it was Jesus. And then at some point, he made it up to the sky, and I could see him dressed in the white robes in the sky, like his arms stretched out like this, feet straight up and down, almost like a cross shape, but it was still Jesus, and light was radiating off of him. And then he began to descend, and he came down, and there were stairs that appeared behind me, which is significant because usually when I pray or meditate or try to just spend some time in the Word with God or in prayer with God, it's not out of the question for me to imagine us being somewhere and spending time together, or even in that location. I've been in that location before, spending time with Jesus. But this time, the scenery behind me was there, and up to this point, I had never thought to, when I was sitting there, to look behind me. So when I looked behind me, there were some like sort of clear, invisible stairs that were there. Jesus was coming down, and he was on the stairs, but he never touched the ground. And I saw them automatically there at the bottom of the hill. And behind me on the hill, there was a beach, and there was like an ocean or a sea of some sort. And he was there. And then I went down to be with him. I don't remember going down. And then I remember him going out over the water, but he never touched the water, and he never touched the ground. And he went out over the water, and then I remember being out over the water with him. Now, this is significant. I wasn't walking on the water. Neither was Jesus. We were moving over the water. And then all of a sudden, I was in the sky and in the clouds. It was a beautiful cloudy day. And I was moving amongst the clouds, almost as, like I've hit some kind of height in this journey. And in my spirit, I just received from God that I need you to follow me where I'm going. And if you follow me where I'm going and have faith, that I will take you over something that can be difficult, which as an ocean or a sea, those waves, that tide, it can be sort of a difficult time to kind of fight against that. But I will take you over it, and you will never even get wet. And that not only will I take you over that and you won't get wet, I can take you to places that you would never be able to get on your own. And I tried to go back and look to just see, was I walking on water? Did Jesus walk on water? But I couldn't see it. And I couldn't remember, like, did that happen? And I received that from God and just thought, like, I wanted to share with you all and even encourage myself to say that these things that you want to do, that if you're going where God is wanting you to go and you're doing these things that are according to his purpose, you're called according to his purpose, and God has purposed your life. There are different passions and skills that you have, or there's things that are laid upon your heart because God has put them there, and as he's put them there, that this is your purpose. So start moving towards your purpose and following Jesus to where he's leading you, and you will be okay. In it all, I think we'll be okay. And especially now with everything that's going on with our country, we're starting to look at raising the minimum wage, and that's the finance part I want to talk to you about. Have faith about some things. The finances will be okay. And in our country, we're starting to move to a different position. That the finances from an employee perspective, that I need you to understand, it's not as safe or secure as some people think. That right now in our country, we are talking about in politics the raising of the minimum wage to $15 an hour. That as an employee, there are employees working right now that do not make at least $15 an hour. And so right now, this job that you have, it may feel secure, but unless you own the job, then it's not secure. And at any moment, it could go bad and take a turn for the worst, and you could be out looking for something else. And God forbid you don't have the money saved, the things you need. So start looking right now about what you need to do to get your life where you need to be and to have the life you want to live, and just start making moves like it's time. In the next 6 months, you could be there. In the next 6 months, you could have that amount in your savings account to really step out. The next 6 months, you could have started that business and have a couple of clients. And it'll put you in a different thought process and space of mind if things are different in 6 months. And just, I don't know about you, but I think it may be difficult, even as a small business, if you're starting a business, to say all of a sudden now you got to pay someone $15 an hour. I think about myself and things that I've done, or hired people on Fiverr that got paid $20 to do some great work, and I couldn't afford to pay them more. But at the same time, I think that for someone to get out here and work really hard and to really bust their chops and sweat and bleed and really give you their time and energy, and you to hand them $15 after an hour, that's almost disrespectful. I think there's no way that you can convince me that an hour of human life is worth less than $15. I think that even if you made $20 an hour, that's kind of disparaging to think about and discouraging, that I can get out here and work really hard and only get $20 after a whole hour. And an hour of my life is only worth that. So encouragement there. With your faith, have faith about where God is taking you. But with your finances, know that the job isn't enough, that God is keeping you right now by faith. So continue following him in faith to where he wants you to be, because he's going to take you to a place you couldn't even take yourself. Thank you for spending some time with me today and hearing me talk about what God is showing me, talk about faith, talk about finances. Again, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell icon so you know when videos are coming out. Also, smash that like button if you liked the video. If you're still here, I believe you liked it. And I just want you to go ahead and hit that like button so I know this is something that you did enjoy. Also, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Engage with me in the comments, prayer requests. If you just want to comment on some things I shared, if you want to comment on some ways you're feeling, or if you want a prayer request, I would love to see it down there. Again, thank you for coming out and spending this time with me today. And until next time, have faith, be safe, and we'll see you soon.